Hello, welcome back to the show. Glad you could join us today. Today what we've got going on is a little bit of lunch. Recipe I discovered a couple years ago. Super simple, super easy, anybody could do it. Today we're going to be making a Cuban sandwich, and let me show you how. Okay, so what you're going to need for this are a couple of French rolls, some yellow mustard. Now you could use Dijon or spicy if you'd like. I personally don't like those, so I stick with the yellow. Some pickles, ham, some butter, and a little bit of cheese. Now I'm going to be using a pepper jack for a little extra kick. You can always switch that out for a provolone or a regular Monterey Jack if you would like. It's really up to your own interpretation. Personally, I probably wouldn't go with the cheddar. That's a little bit too strong for this particular sandwich. So let's go ahead and start assembling this whole thing. Now, first thing you want to do is get your loaf, take some mustard, and just put it right on top. Just like that. Choose as much as you'd like. I'm not a huge mustard guy. I like it, but that's good enough for myself. Take your pickles, fresh jar. Go ahead and grab, one or two, depending on what size you're gonna be using. I've got a little mini one, so I'll probably just use the one. You know, let's do a little bit more actually. I can get this guy out of here, and that should be fine, and I'm gonna eat that. Okay. Let's go ahead and take our butter knife, spread that out a little bit more, get it even coated. Go ahead and grab a paper towel because you're going to want to reuse this knife in just a moment. Wipe that off real quick. Now we'll start assembling. Take your ham. Grab yourself a couple slices. I'm probably going to do 3 or 4. Not terribly hungry, but you know, just one or two slices. That's just not enough. Doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to get the job done. Okay, take your pickles. Put those in right on top of the ham. Go ahead and close that over on top of itself. Now, what you're gonna wanna do here is this is a hot sandwich, so we're gonna coat the top in some butter before we throw it on the George Foreman. Now, I didn't properly prepare for this part, but that's okay. Cooking and food preparation in general can be messy, and really you just kind of want to have fun with it. If you get chunks of butter, hey, that's just more flavor. Am I right? That's looking good. Okay, so let's go ahead and start cooking this thing up. We're gonna take it over to the George Foreman. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and cook up this bad boy. Now, if you have a panini press, that would be perfect. I do not. Got a George Foreman, it'll get the job done, essentially the same thing. Now, if you don't have either of those things, you could go over to the stovetop, take a pan, heat that up, get a second pan and set that on top, and weigh that down with a pot of water or something, because we're gonna wanna press this down. So go ahead and take your sandwich. Go ahead, just right on top. Take some more of your butter. Go ahead and coat that bottom side. Or top side if you did it reverse. That's looking good. That's sounding good. Can you hear the sizzle? Now that's all done. Go ahead and close it up. And we're gonna want to let that cook up for about a minute or two. Nothing too long. You don't want to burn it. That'd be bad. You think we're gonna get a second season? Now, while that's cooking, go ahead and take some time to clean up your workstation. You know, get rid of any napkins that you had. Get rid of any wrappers, spilled pickle juice, whatever you did. So now we're getting a pretty good little crust on top. It's not quite crusty, but it's definitely cooking up. So what I'm gonna do is add a little bit more butter to it. And like I said before, butter's just more flavor, so can't really go wrong with that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and grab a towel real quick and just help press that down a little bit more. So I can tell it's leaning more onto one side than the other, and I want this to be an even flat sandwich. Okay, so it's been going for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes now, and I think it's just about done. So let's go ahead and plate this up. All right, look at that. You got those nice little grill marks from the George Foreman. The ham slid off the side a little bit, cooked up nice and little crust on the outside. The cheese that's perfectly melted that I Very clearly did not forget when assembling this and didn't have to go back and redo a second time. Totally didn't forget that. Now it's been off the George for about 30 seconds to a minute. That part's not terribly important, just so that you have it done. Let's go ahead and cut this up and plate it. And we are cutting it diagonally because we have respect for ourselves. And if anybody tells you to cut it straight, don't trust them. They work for the government. Look at that beauty. The color, the flavor, the smells, fantastic. Let's go ahead and let's give this a try. All right, and there you have it. You have yourself a beautiful cooked up Cuban style sandwich. Now this isn't the traditional Cuban sandwich that you might have seen in restaurants. It's a little bit simpler, but in that same token, you can do that at home in 5 to 7 minutes. That's good. The pepper jack gives it a little bit of a kick. Get some pepper flavor in there. The tanginess of the mustard goes perfectly well with that crispness of the pickle. And the ham, well, the ham's ham. Sun's coming out, sandwich is made. So I hope you go ahead and give this a shot at home. And if you did, let me know how it went. We love hearing back from you guys. You know, we've gotten a lot of great feedback from the viewers. And I think that's all there is to say. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Keep cooking. Let's pack it up. Good job.